So before I get into this vlog, I have something a little embarrassing to say. So I've had this whole, thumbnail template for the vlogs and such on this channel for a few years now. And it only just occurred to me today to put something behind that overlay that wasn't a picture of my face. Anyway, vlogs. And of course, the one thing I seem to always have vlogged about, or I mentioned in the update recently, how I went through and looked at all the old vlogs and updates and sorted them. Well, one thing I noticed is I tend to talk a lot about Pokemon in these vlogs, which is kind of ironic because I never played any of the games on any of my channels. Although I think I've mentioned that's because I'm never sure about the legality. I don't want to get copyright strikes or such, and I just kind of decided, just play other games or videos at the moment. But I have been a big fan of Pokemon for a while now. I think I might have mentioned before, but I really got back into it around X and Y after taking a break after Soul Silver. And yeah, I've been playing for quite a long time. Since the first generation came out is when I got my first game anyway. And well, I talked in it before about, the hype around the Sinnoh. The Sinnoh remakes might be coming though, but the Hoenn remakes, because Hoenn was, or probably is, my favorite regions. This is one of my favorite regions anyway, and, the Gen 3 games were some of my favorites, so I made videos about that because I was really excited at the time. But now around the same time, I'm kind of doing more stuff with this channel. Well, guess what? There's some new Pokemon games coming out that are quite interesting and a little controversial, it seems. So they are Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. And yeah, I definitely have some stuff to say about this, so I want to make a vlog. Overall, my opinion of these games is they look awesome. I'm really glad to see they're trying something new like this, even if it isn't the normal formula. Now, the one debate or thing I've seen as a sticking point is, are they main series games or not? Are they the core RPG games, or are they just a spin-off? And personally, one, I don't think it really matters at the end of the day, because, if you enjoy the game, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if it's a spin-off or a main series. If you enjoy playing it, if it feels like a nice Pokemon game, well, that counts more. But personally, I kind of think they're main series, but not the main series, if that makes sense. One thing I saw is that, allegedly anyway, they're supposedly kind of like, they have the new Super Mario games, and then they also have games like Mario Odysseys. They're two different style of Mario games that run alongside each other. I guess another thing, even though, okay, that's a terrible comparison, but kind of like how they did go back and do a Sonic 4, even though that was terrible, while still making the newer Sonic games. I don't know, it seems like this is not just a spin-off. It's not like, Pokemon Quest or Detective Pikachu, or have Cerebi open because I want to look at some of the details to reference. But Pokemon has had a lot of spin-offs that are more or less just cash grabs or just random games of Pokemon thrown in that aren't really Pokemon games. They're just using the Pokemon characters. So it definitely feels like these games are not like those other spin-offs, even if they are spin-offs. I think the closest game we could compare this to is actually Pokemon Colosseum, which at first just looked like a sequel to a Stadium, but it turned out it was an RPG for a console, just like how the Let's Go games are for a console, the Switch. So I don't know, I feel like there definitely is a comparison there, because while the Colosseum game is not a main series game, it's not part of, the normal series of regions and such, and it had a very different formula. It is also kind of a fan favorite, at least I personally really like it. It was a different take on Pokemon, but it still was Pokemon. You still were battling, you still were capturing Pokemon, even if it was different, and leveling them up and evolving them and all that sort of stuff. So I don't know, that was I kind of feel like that's an honorary main series, and I feel like even if the Let's Go games aren't main series, they will fit a similar thing. But here's what I think they're going to do. So pretty much, they're going to keep doing the classic line. So we'll get a proper Gen 8 game. I don't know. Trying to think of just a name I could call as a placeholder, but we don't know what it's going to be. We're going to get a game after Sun and Moon. We're going to get a Gen 8 with a new region, probably gyms. Who knows what they're going to change. Probably some other gimmicky mechanic like Mega Evolution or Z Crystals, or I really hate how they keep doing a new mechanic like that each generation. It's really starting to be a bit cheap and kind of lessen the impact and just feel like bloat. But that's not what we're talking about now. But I do think that they did say, there is going to be a new core RPG game next year. It's going to be the more traditional Pokemon. So I see what they're going to do now, at least if this goes well, is we're going to have the Let's Go games, and then we're going to have the core games. So, Let's Go games over here, core games over here, and they're both going to be Pokemon RPGs going forward. Like, in a few years, we might see Let's Go Snubbull and Togepi. I don't know, and it could be, a Gen 2 remake in the Let's Go universe. So I think it's just going to end up being more Pokemon games and a new take on Pokemon rather than replacing the old Pokemon, which is good. So I do think they are main series, just not the main series. They're a new main series, a second main series. I probably should have said that a lot sooner. That could have saved a lot of time. Oh well. So aside from that, one other thing that I do find interesting, I do remember seeing theories about after Gen 7, they're going to reset and start over with like a reboot. Well, I feel that Let's Go is kind of that reboot. They're just not stopping the main series to do that, which is pretty neat. So yeah, another way to view it, it's kind of like a reboot of Pokemon, starting back at Gen 1, starting with only the 151 original Pokemon, with similar mechanics. It should work more or less the same from what we've seen, just with some differences I'll get to in a second. And still continuing the normal games too, which seems kind of like a win-win, just more Pokemon, a way to kind of draw in new people to make it a bit more approachable because it doesn't have like 800 different Pokemon to look into. Also, breeding's not in it from what I've heard. And as someone who does breed Pokemon, I'm kind of excited about that because it means it's a game where I don't have to worry about breeding competitive Pokemon and doing that stuff. I can just play it kind of like I did Pokemon Yellow back in the day. So let's actually talk about some of the changes. So from what I've heard, it's based on Pokemon Yellow, but it's not a Pokemon Yellow remake. We've already seen that it does have a different rival called a Trace, which they showed the main character's name was Chase. This is just after E3, by the way. So a lot of the info is still kind of coming in. It's not a lot out there yet. But yeah, I feel like Trace might be a reference to Tracy from the anime, though. We'll see, even though it still looks like a Blue/Gary character. But apparently they got rid of the mean rival, which is a bit disappointing, because, I don't know, helpful rival, the mean rival in the original games is one of the things that made him notable. But at the same time, if the rival's different, it makes me wonder what else is different. From what I've heard, this might be like an alternate timeline. Like, I feel like it is going back to the original games, but I feel like they are going to do things differently. Even at the gym leaders and most of the stuff, it's the same. Like, for example, if your rival's nice, maybe he won't be the champion. Maybe someone else will be the champion, which could be cool. There could be other events. Maybe this actually takes place after Team Rocket, for all we know. We haven't had confirmation of that yet. Like, Team Rocket's still around, but maybe it's after Red already thwarted them. I did hear a rumor that supposedly Red and Blue are in the game, but they're older now. Like, it takes place after the original games, but that's to be seen. So, I don't know. But I am interested to see where the story goes and if it's just a remake or if they do change stuff and how much they do change. But the biggest change, though, is there are no wild encounters, or at least no wild battles. So you just see Pokemon in the overworld and you walk into them to initiate a battle, and all the battle is you capture them. You throw a ball like in Pokemon Go. Now, the names Let's Go kind of make it a little clear, but these are kind of Pokemon Go tie-ins, but still kind of core RPG. I think that the catcher mechanic from Go is kind of neat. I haven't played Pokemon Go myself. I don't even own the Switch at the moment. But I do think changing the capture just to throw the Pokeball, it's different than what I'm used to, but at the same time, like, I can get down with that. That seems like an interesting way to kind of shake up the games. And it was confirmed that you get experience from capturing them. So you train your team by capturing Pokemon. And just like in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, all Pokemon can follow you, and the big ones you can ride. And I also heard that HMs are gone, so I guess instead of Poke Ride, you literally just ride a Pokemon. Maybe I'm wrong, but instead of like needing to unlock a Lapras on your ride pager to surf, you just capture Lapras and ride it, and it will let you surf. I don't know, that's not confirmed, that's just a theory. And your starter Pokemon, Pikachu or Eevee, they'll always be on your shoulder or head. They can be interacted with, and they cannot be evolved. I'm a little sad about that, but I kind of expected it once I kind of realized it's a Yellow remake. You couldn't evolve Pikachu in Yellow. But I was kind of leaning towards Let's Go Eevee. But now that I know I can't evolve it, I'm just like, I think I might rather the Pikachu, because just an Eevee sounds kind of bad. Just saying. But it would have been really cool if you could evolve it and it still would ride around on you. Like, having a Raichu on your back instead of a Pikachu, I think would have been an awesome touch to the game. So it's a little disappointing they don't evolve. And I feel like that almost wouldn't have been too unreasonable, because at the moment you only have the 3 evolutions. You don't have all of them. So you don't have to make it so Flareon, I'm almost saying the wrong one. Flareon, Jolteon, and Vaporeon would be on your head. And I feel they're all sized enough. It could have worked, but oh well. But Pokemon following, that is something that has been long requested since the Gen 2 remakes, which were some of my favorite games. So yeah, and another thing that I only noticed now while reading this on Cerebi in the changes section, apparently the PC box is gone. You can switch out Pokemon at any time from your bag, which is a pretty big change. So, I don't know, it seems like it's a very new player friendly game. Maybe not a very hard game, but it still seems like it could be fun, and I don't know, I guess we'll have to wait and see. The one thing that is also cool is it does have 2-player co-op. You just shake the second controller and another player pops in. And that means while capturing Pokemon, both of you throw the Pokeball, and in battle, they get one of your Pokemon, it looks like, that also can follow them around. I'm not sure exactly how that works, and it does sound like it's going to make the game really easy, because it showed like 2-on-1, not like every battle just turns into a double battle, so no idea how that's going to work. But it does seem like something cool. Co-op Pokemon is something that has been requested for a long time, so it's cool to finally see it even if it's not exactly as we wanted. And another thing is they carried over this from Pokemon Go, I think. It's combat points, or CP. Now, in this game, they still have the normal stats. They still have IVs even, it seems. But combat points will be another way to kind of total alongside your Pokemon's level. So that seems cool. So if you have like a level 5 Pikachu and another level 5 Pikachu, its combat points might be different to kind of show you, hey, this one has better IVs and such. Which is actually really neat as a way to kind of view IVs without viewing it, and just another way to see your Pokemon stats and how they stack up. So that stuff seems cool. Let's see, what else is there? Well, there is a new Pokemon that's coming from Pokemon Go, I think. Yeah, you transfer it over from Pokemon Go, or do you send it to Pokemon Go? I forget how that works, but supposedly it's going to be the 808th Pokemon, an actual new Pokemon, and not just like an egg or something. Here's the capture mechanics. But yeah, it is Pokemon Go compatibility. I probably should touch on that a bit more while I'm giving my thoughts. So apparently how it works is it's like in Gen 4. When you send a Pokemon over, they went to that park, and then you had to catch them to get them transferred into that game. It seems like it works the same way. Instead of the Safari Zone, they're sent to Go Park. So if you have, like, let's say, I don't know, a Charizard in Pokemon Go, you can send it over to Let's Go, it will be in the Go Park, you catch it in Go Park, and then it turns into a Charizard you can use in the game, which I think is cool. It's a one-way transfer though, but that's still neat that you can actually take Pokemon you catch in Pokemon Go and bring them into a more traditional Pokemon game that I think is confirmed to have like online battling and such. Apparently I think I did see about a passcode or something. Like you pick like a Pikachu, a Bulbasaur, and a Weedle or whatever it is, and then someone else enters that code and you can link up with them that way, which sounds like they're doing our friend codes, which seems like it could be an easier way to trade in battle. But from what I've heard, it does still have online trading and battling, so the fact you can take your Pokemon for Pokemon you catch in Pokemon Go and bring them over to this game and actually battle with them in a proper way instead of the Pokemon Go battle system is pretty neat, and it makes me want to play Pokemon Go more, honestly, because I haven't even started yet. I think I did try and start, but my device didn't really support it, so I couldn't. So I kind of would like to work at Pokemon Go now so I can transfer the Pokemon over. And also, one thing I did hear is that it does have candies like Pokemon Go, but instead of leveling the Pokemon, they increase stats. And you can also trade in Pokemon for candies. Cute dark jokes about what happens there. But I don't know, that was something neat. I think it might be raising Eevees like the Wings did in Gen 5, only it's candy. But it's not confirmed yet. I don't know, overall these games look pretty neat. They have gorgeous graphics too, and just everything about them, it seems like a nice new take on Pokemon, even if it isn't what we were wanting out of a new Pokemon game, or what people were expecting. but it definitely looks like a really fun game, and I'm interested to see more, interested to see where the story goes. I am a bit disappointed it's only the first 151, but I feel like this is just the start of a new franchise, like a new rebooted franchise alongside the old one. And I feel like we are going to see this connect to the main games. I feel there's going to be something like you can send your Pokemon from Let's Go into Pokemon Bank and then into, I don't know, whatever the next games are. I can't think of what they'd be because they've been using some really weird names now. They haven't really been using colors for a long time, but the new names like Sun and Moon, I can't predict what they're going to do next. Anyway. So this has been my extended ramblings on Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu. I think they're really cool games. I really hope I can afford to get them because, like I said, I don't have a Switch right now, and getting them with the Pokeball Plus is $100. I might not get the Pokeball Plus controller at this price because that's a lot. At least when you also don't have a Switch or a phone to play Pokemon Go. Priorities. Anyway, so yeah. I like the games. I think they're cool, and I'm interested to see where they go. I kind of hope this does become its own franchise, just like Mystery Dungeon is not sure. And I hope this can be a new Pokemon series to run along the main series. I wouldn't even mind if it someday replaced it, because it still does feel like the main series games, just a different take on it. So, yeah. Anyway, I feel this has been enough rambling about new Pokemon games, and I don't know, if there's new information I really want to comment on, maybe I'll do another one of these, or maybe I'll just cool it on the Pokemon vlogs, because the first vlog back in years, and it's Pokemon again. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Till next time, goodbye.